Hey everybody, Shane Terrio here. Stay tuned. Got a good one for you today. We're talking about one of the most iconic, most famous amps ever was made, the Marshall Superlead. I'm going to show you mine, but you guys seem to like the working man behind the scenes thing. So I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to take you into the studio. A couple days ago, I was on a session. I brought it in, show you what it sounds like. We're going to go through all kinds of things, take a deep dive. Stay tuned. Here we go. All right, Terrio back at you live and off the cuff. Most of it's live. I hope everybody's doing great. Thank you to all the new subs. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe. I know, blah, 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 but it really helps me out. Keeps me motivated to build the channel. Keep it going. All right, so anywho, I'm going to talk at y'all a little bit about this amp. This is a Marshall Superlead. This particular one, I believe it's a 71. It has a pretty interesting history. I bought this thing years and years and years ago. I was doing clinics for Hamer guitars back 100 years ago, now 30 years ago. And I was in a music store in Florida, and they had this amp just there, and I just was like, wow, Marshall. Now, when I was a kid, and I'm sure you too, I just fantasized about owning a real Marshall amp. And I remember saving up my pennies and doing guitar lessons and trading whatever I could do. And I traded in my crate amp, which served me well, for a real Marshall. Now, it probably was a solid state. I don't remember. It was a combo. It was great, though. I think it was called a Lead Master or whatever. It was cool. It was a Marshall. It said made in England on it. And made me play better, made me sound better. All our heroes played Marshalls. I don't have to tell you. Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Eddie Van Halen. I mean, you name it, it's been done, the Marshall. All right, so this particular one, like I was saying, I bought it in Florida. It sounded okay. I think it had some issues over the years. And years later, Scott Henderson, friend of mine from a long time ago, a great guitar player, he had one just like it. And he told me, call up this guy, Martin Golub at Custom Audio Electronics, Bob Bradshaw's shop in LA. Tell him I told you to call him. Tell him to do this and this to it. I did. It took forever to get the amp back. I got it back. It was unbelievable. It was the best sounding amp I'd ever heard in my life at that time. It's still one of the best ones I have. And so it's called a Crunch mod, I believe. Martin Golub did the mod. I think it was developed with John Suhr, from what I read on it. Sadly, Martin passed away a few years ago, so I never really got to ask him about it, because this was done, the mod was done probably 15 years ago. So I've had the amp a while. This amp, it's, man, what can I say about it? It's loud, it's obnoxious, it's clean, it can be clean, it can purr, it can growl, it's heavy as shit, it's loud as hell, but it doesn't have to be loud. So one of the things Martin did too is he put a master volume mod. Now before you go, beating me up on the internet saying, well, you shouldn't mod Marshall, vintage amplifiers. Well, this thing had been modded to death long before I acquired it. It had an effects loop, or somebody's attempted effects loop. And I remember Martin on the phone said, I'm going to take the loop out. I'm going to do this. I said, just do whatever you do to Scott's and Landau's. That's it. It's good enough for me. And that's what he did. By the way, if anybody happens to know of a band called Blitz out there, if you're watching, I have your amp. I got it in Florida, but God knows where this thing's been. So let me take you into the studio real quick. I'm going to show you what it sounded like cranked up through mixing console with a real band. This is my band called Le Combo with Toss Panos and drums, Jürgen Carlson from Government Mule on bass. Toss has played with everybody too. I mean, these guys were in Chris Cornell's band together. So it's a great, great trio, and we went in there to cut some things. And I brought this and a Tweed amp to complement it. So just a little clip, you'll hear how it sounds, then come back and we'll deep dive into the amp. Welcome to, is this North Hollywood? I don't know. Somewhere in LA in the valley, deep in the industrial lair. Stag Street Studio, great studio. It's been about 10 years since I've been here, maybe more. Recording with my band today, Le Combo, with some buddies, and we're doing it to 2-inch tape. Come on in. I'm going to use 2 amplifiers. I'm using that Marshall. I'm going to use this Tungsten Tweed Deluxe. I'm using the Z cap for the Marshall. Should sound pretty good. Cutting to 2-inch.
That's how I feel.
Ooh, analog goodness.
No, I'm not retarded.
Gotta have your shit together for that.
That's weird. That shouldn't be matched. Out.
Well, there's some good mojo to have in the break room here. Okay, so there's a little taste of what it sounds like, and cranked a little bit. Now, let me tell you, before you jump on me on the internet and go, those aren't, usable these days. They aren't realistic and, blah, blah, blah. It's not a bedroom amp. No, I'm not a bedroom player, okay? I toured with this amp. This thing has been, I did Madison Square Garden 3 times with this amp. It's toured with me all over the place, but I've played clubs with it, and it works. I just took it off the road a few years ago because I didn't want it to get beat up. And touring takes a toll, even though you have good techs and things. So I did use it on some Live from Daryl's House shows. I used it on Cheap Trick. I used it on El King. Charlie Starr from Blackberry Smoke used it on his episode. I let him use it. I bought a Soldano SLO back, 10 years ago. And I kind of like that. Not better, but it's just, I don't worry about it as much. This thing sounds amazing, though. There's nothing like it. A lot of people think Marshalls are always dirty and they're always, real gainy amps, but that's not the case. Marshalls have some beautiful cleans. I love the tubes, the Yale 34s in here, the cleans they produce. Every note just rings, you know? Nice. Another thing I like about the Marshall for rhythm playing, it's got just the right amount of grit. You feel that compression when you dig in. All right, now nothing does a Marshall like a Marshall, and you can definitely get the Van Halen tones. I turn the gain up, master down to compensate because the amp gets loud as shit really quickly. Massive. If I back off the volume, this amp, like my Soldano SLO, the controls work great. The EQ controls, you can hear them working. The Marshall, not so much. You got to really turn it a lot to hear it, but it's hard to get a bad sound out of this. Soldano too. It's not like a boogie where you just look at it the wrong way and the thing changes, which I like boogies, but Marshalls are easy to dial in. Let me get my Strat and we'll look at some clean tones. And you can also get some really beautiful clean sounds. You know, everybody and their brother knows that Jimi Hendrix used Marshalls and Fenders. Anyway, that's just some of the sounds that this amplifier produces with two different guitars. I mean, I just scratched the surface. It'll really do a lot. It sounds great with pedals. So next time you see a Marshall, an old Superlead, you know, it's not just an antiquated thing. I mean, the thing sounds amazing. Yes, you do need an attenuator if you're at home or a master volume mod, in my opinion. You know, if you're still playing with Guns N' Roses or whatever, you could probably crank one. But they sound great. They sound great at low volumes too. I don't like the give up the goods saying, you know, that you see on the internet. I think they sound great at low volumes too. What amp doesn't sound better, louder? Come on. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Give me the like, subscribe if you get a chance. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. I got more to come, and I'll see you guys soon. Stay funky. Shane Terrio out.